All right, happy Wednesday. Let's get to work. We brain G stuff. Today we have the intentional balancing circuits. And when I do say balancing, I always want you to kind of refer to pulling exercises. Friday morning, and maybe I'll talk to you about maybe tomorrow morning. I got to move on Friday. Stability normally refers to pushing exercises for the most part. For the most part, there's always a balancing component in stability, and there's always a stability component in balancing. But when I say balancing, I would think pulling exercises when we get there. We do have a warm-up circuit because I do need you to be warm. A warm-up circuit. We'll have two different main circuits. We're going to have a middle and an end, and you guys know how this thing plays out. Okay. But when I use the word balancing, I do want you to think pulling exercises, and then we're going to add that fitness component today. Fitness doesn't mean fast. Fitness means you adjust your weights to fit your reps. You maintain your motion. You have that touch of pace, right? We don't ever go fast. We minimize rest. So for a handful of us on here, Katie, Amelia, we don't lift fast. We minimize rest. God, sometimes you get that scratch in your throat. Good morning, Emily. Alrighty, we're gonna be on the ground. We have our 3 different hip bridges to start with. Okay, to start with. Later on, we're gonna do a different right hip bridge, left hip bridge. Anyhow, 3 different hip bridges. We have our 3 different planks, which I'll give you options, and we'll have 3 different upper bodies to get ready for our day. Are you ready? Regular hip bridge. Your feet are shoulder width apart. Whether your feet are elevated or you have weight on your hips, you've got your 20 regular hip bridges, which we have started many workouts with. My challenge to you, eliminate the other things. And what are those other things? I don't want your calves. I would like you to not get as much hamstrings as you could normally get. I want your glutes happening, hip mobility, and I don't mind that core. So try to eliminate all those other things so you do get your glutes and your core. Whenever your hips move, your glutes will always turn on. And then now on this exercise, it's safer to get a good lower back versus your hamstrings. 20 regular hip bridges you technically won't do again today. And you love it when I say you technically won't do it again today, because there's many other things you are going to do today. When you get done with your 20 regular hip bridges, you're going to be on 20 rotational planks, unless you really, really, really want to do 30 scissors. Okay? 20 big rotational planks. If you hate them, can't do them, don't do them, do 30 scissors. 20. That is 10 each side. Big, huge reps. 20 rotational planks. Now you don't have to do the big X, but I do want you to turn as much as you can turn, get as big as you can get. Getting unbalanced on rotational planks, you will actually turn on a ton more core versus not getting unbalanced. 20 rotational planks. You technically won't do them again today. And then you're going to do 20 push-ups. You won't do that again today either. So we have a 3-round warm-up circuit. We have lots of things to do today. 20 push-ups, whether you have legs straight or knees bent, shoulder blades, chest pushing, shoulder blades, chest pushing. Again, when you get there, I'm not saying you have to be there. 20 regular hip bridges, 20 rotational planks, 20 push-ups. You won't do any of those exercises again today. Brian, kiss the ground, baby. You had a beautiful garage. Give that thing a little smooch. Get down, get dirty, get funky. If you have a dirty floor, you don't have to give it a smooch. But if you keep your garage as clean as Brian's is, then give that thing a little smooch. Mwah. Yes, mwah. Wednesday morning. Giving your little garage a little smooch. Now that's if you're in the garage. If you're not in the garage, you don't have to give it a smooch. After your 20 push-ups, we're going to do 20 wide hip bridges. We've done that before. We're going to do 20 elevator planks, and of course I'll give you options, right? And then we're going to do 20 shoulder presses. Wide hip bridges. Your feet are just wider than what they were earlier. Remember, like wide squats and high and wide leg press, you're going to probably feel those muscles around your hips more. It requires a little more flexibility, but it also means you need to eliminate those other things. Glutes, core, and core muscles are anything that touch your spine. So think about this middle area. Try to eliminate your hamstrings and your calves. So even though I want your feet wide, you do need to play with your feet so you can not get those other things. Your head is down. I never want your neck to bug you. You might be going too high, especially if your feet are elevated. You can have that really huge position, and then next thing you know, you're on your head and your neck. 20 wide hip bridges, and then we're going to do 20 elevator planks or walking planks, and that's elbows to hands, hands to elbow, 20 revolutions. If you despise them, you can do 20 V-ups. Here we go. Elbows to hands to elbows is 1. That's a revolution. 20, or you can do 20 slow V-ups. Elbows to hands, hands to elbows. Mix up the leading arm occasionally, not frequently, so you can have the different mechanics of a right arm leading and a left arm leading. So don't do the same right up or left up and down, say blah, blah, blah. Change that a little bit. After those 20 elevator planks, aka walking planks, you're going to do 20 shoulder presses. We're going to do our 3 pushes in this circuit: chest, shoulders, triceps. And then later on, it's all balancing and pulling. So we got lots of work to do. 20 shoulder presses, holding anything as long as you push it above your head. You won't do shoulder presses again today. Today is balancing. We're going to refer to pulling exercises when you balance. We're warming up with glutes, core, motion, mechanics, pushing exercises. We have a fitness component today when we get to those circuits. And again, fitness doesn't mean fast. Maintain motion, minimize rest, sacrifice weight where needed, and then of course you hit your reps. After your 20 shoulder presses, last round is your 20 narrow hip bridges. We're going to do plank swimmers, unless you really need to do regular swimmers. And then we're going to do our triceps. Now, narrow hip bridges, you're going to naturally turn on your glute maximus more. So, if you don't feel anything, you're still activating your glutes. Of course, if you feel your glutes, even better. Eliminate your calves, eliminate your hamstrings, squeeze your glutes. You've got your core muscles. Feet can be higher, hips can be heavier. Mix them up. 20 narrow hip bridges. We'll do a different plank. We'll do our triceps. Nice 180 rep warm-up circuit. Getting the body ready, the soul ready. Again, after your 20 narrow hip bridges, we're going to be on plank swimmers, elbows and toes or hands and toes, unless you need to do regular swimmers. Elbows and toes, it's a low plank. You do turn on more core. It requires a little more effort on the lift and reach. However, you will see people in the high plank. High plank isn't bad. It just requires more balance. I don't like high planks as much because you do get less core, but you do get more other things. It might feel a little more comfortable on your elbows and your shoulders. So, more core on the low plank, more balance and focus on the high plank. Plank swimmers. 20 plank swimmers. Taking your time. You won't do them again today. And then 20 triceps. You've got your dips, your kickbacks, your overheads, your skull crushers. You won't do them again today. Today is balancing with pulling. Friday morning, or again, we'll take a quick little vote at the end of this class for maybe tomorrow morning. You know, when you have so much time and energy, people like to add to your mix. I get to move to Friday morning. At least move out of my place. More story on that over margaritas and chips and salsa someday. So that warm-up circuit is done. Clean up your space. We have a big, steady round. Okay, I need your body ready, but you will be getting on the ground for abs, but it's not going to feel like you're going to get up and down a million times. We essentially have 6 slow rounds coming up with a little bit of a middle thing and a little bit of an end thing. Here are your choices on your balancing, pulling exercises, which you've done before. You can get low, stay low, balancing row, mix up your legs, or you can stand tall, balancing upright row. So I want you to think about the row motion, multi-joint. You're pulling either low or you're pulling high. Don't go yet. It's going to eventually be 30, 20, 10. After the right side, we're going to do fitness quads. After the left side, we're going to do fitness abs. Remember, fitness doesn't mean fast. Okay? When you're ready, 30 right side balancing rows, whether you get low, stay low, row, balancing on either leg, or you stand tall and row, again, balancing on either leg. 30. Let's go. Mix up your legs. You've got unilateral load or super loading when you're balancing on the same leg as the same arm being used. You've got bilateral load or cross balance when you're doing the right upper and the left lower. 30 right side rows. Low pulling back, high pulling shoulders. So some people will say a low row, some people say a high row, but those are actually different cable exercises. 30 right side rows. When you are done, and I'm not saying you should be done, we're going to do fitness quads. Fitness means you maintain motion, you minimize rest, you adjust your weight, and you hit your reps. You can do stationary forward lunges, you can do narrow squats, you can do walking reverse lunges, you can do low heavy step-ups. 50 quads. Ready? What? 50? 50 quads. Ready, set, go. Oh, and I did forget the iso quads. I'll show you that in a second. You can sit on something on those iso quad extensions that kind of look like V-ups. But I want fitness. All I want you to do is give me 50 good quads, whether you have weight or not, whether you do narrow squats, stationary forward lunges, walking reverse lunges, low heavy step-ups, or iso quads. That's where you're sitting on something. You're not doing V-ups, but it is an isometric core exercise. 50 quads. Heart rate will come up a little bit. And yes, we're getting your quads, but we're also thinking a little bit of heart rate without doing high knees and butt kicks and jumping jacks and jump squats. So, when you get done with your 50 quads and your mindset is a little bit of fitness, you're going to go right into your left side pulling exercise. Okay, 50 fitness quads, and then give me your left side balancing pulling row. I would like you to kind of repeat what you did on your right. So if you did all right trap rows, I would like you to do your left trap rows. If you mixed it up or just did high rows, repeat the upright high rows. 50 fitness quads, get on your left side pulling. Ready, set, go. Balance on either leg. There is unilateral load, super loading. If you see how my body kind of shifts into that left side, I'm all left. There is bilateral load or cross balance. Again, see how my body kind of shift to my right side. I'm loaded, but then I'm pulling on my left side. Is it magical? No. We have a bunch of little muscles with really long names and words, right? 13-letter words that turn on. 30 left side rows, and they're gonna get on the ground for 50 sit-ups. 50, are you serious? Fitness. I want you to hit your reps. I want you to maintain your motion. I want you to minimize rest, and you adjust your weight. Now, if you don't want to lay on the ground and do sit-ups, you can lay on a stability ball. You can lay on anything and do 50 sit-ups. It's still gonna take a little while. Fitness, a little bit of fitness, not a ton. Minimizing rest, maintaining motion, sacrificing the weight a tiny bit, hit your reps. On those sit-ups, which you won't do again today, mix up your legs. Legs straight, both knees bent, one knee bent and one leg straight. Yes, you could be laying on a stability ball. I don't reference that very much because I know a lot of people don't have a stability ball. And like I said earlier in the month or even last month, if you think you're gonna be at home for a little while longer, it's worth the 20 bucks to order on Amazon a stability ball. If you're under 5'6", order a 55 centimeter stability ball. If you're 5'6" to 6 foot, order a 65 centimeter ball. You guys can always text me. And if you are taller than 6 foot, then you order a 75 centimeter ball. They're like 20 bucks, maybe. Mama D has a blow-up service at her house. If you guys need your stability ball blown up, stop by Mama D's house, right? I love my bad inside jokes. "50 sit-ups. You won't do it again today. Maintain motion, minimize rest, adjust your weight, hit your reps." We have a nice little warm-up glute, hip mobility, core, mechanics type of a circuit. We did our pushing exercises, so we had some upper body joint mobility. Maybe we didn't warm up the knees as much as we could have on the warm-up, but you should be pretty safe for this workout. If I said give me 50 heavy quads, it'd be a different story. After those 50 sit-ups start finishing off, again, if you have been done for a while, that was a little too fitnessy, right? A little too fast. If you are finishing your 50 sit-ups, awesome. Round 2 will be 20 right side rows, 20, so it is less reps. You're gonna do your 50 fitness quads again. Then we'll do our 20 left side rows, and then you'll do your 50 sit-up scissors for the only time today. So not a whole lot changed. Round 2, when you are ready, balancing rows. Mix up your legs occasionally, but I want to mix them up when you can't support yourself. Like when you feel that right side going, then switch to your left side. Don't switch your feet a whole bunch. Switch them up enough. 20, either get low, stay low rows, or get tall, stand tall rows. 20. Then you'll do your 50 fitness quads again. Would I love weight? Yes, I would love it if you had weight. I want fitness and I want motion. I want burn and heart rate. So if you need to get rid of the weight, cool. 20 right side rows, 50 quads. If you have too much weight and it causes breaks, that's when you go lighter. If you can maintain the weight you have and maintain the motion that you're doing, and you can minimize your rest, you've got the right weight. So I definitely want you holding weights. Stationary forward lunges, narrow squats. Yes, you can do walking reverse lunges if you have space. Lower, heavier step-ups. And again, you have those iso quads. You go out of the dynamic motion and you go into an isometric static exercise. So mix them up as you need to. 50 quads again. 50 scissors after you do the left side balancing rows. Maintain that motion. Quads turn on more via the feet position and the motions that I gave you. Narrow squats, you still get glutes and hamstrings, but more quads. Stationary forward lunges, yes, you get a lot of quads, but you still get your hammies and glutes. Lower, heavier step-ups, walking reverse lunges, iso quads. When you get down to your 50, don't stay around and sit around and do nothing. You go to the left side balancing rows. Not saying you should be done with your 50, but when you do get done, left side balancing rows. Again, I'm dibbling and dabbling watching you. We did this on Monday at noon and 3. Today I'll do it today at 9 as well. And we shift over to the opposite workout. Again, after your 50 quads, no rest. Get into your left side balancing rows. I want that fitness to come from minimizing your rest. I want the fitness to come from maintaining your motion, adjusting your weight, hitting your reps. So this round 2 is a 20 right side balancing rows, 50 fitness quads, 20 left side balancing rows, 50 sit-up scissors. Remember, we're not doing things fast. We're just gonna minimize the rest. 50 scissors. I do like the bigger, the bigger version. You don't have to do the sit-up version. You can do the non-sit-up version, but I do like the big ones. I don't like little ones. Big reps. 50 scissors. Scissors, legs straight, arms straight, torque, leverage. It's more of a mobility of hips and spine and flexibility of posterior muscles than it is just abs. You've got your anterior activation, but there's other components to scissors, like your V-ups. Sit-ups are definitely more of the abs, scissors are more of a core. Again, pace. Fitness comes from maintaining your motion, minimizing your rest. If you have to change weights, cool. If the weight is too heavy and it stops you, then bring it down so it doesn't stop you. If it's too light and you think you can handle more in the next round, add weight for the next round. It'll be the last round of the pulling exercises you're doing, and the quads will have a little middle thing. So 50 scissors. I'm not saying you should be done, but when you get done, you're gonna be on your 10 right balancing rows, your last 50 fitness quads, your 10 left balancing rows, and then your 50 reverse crunches that you won't do again today. So there's a lot of reps, it's not a lot of sets. 50 scissors when they are done. I didn't say go fast, but the next thing you do is your 10 right balancing rows. It's only 10. If you were at the gym, you know that I would be putting out some pretty big weights. 10 right balancing rows. Your last 50 fitness quads. 10 left balancing rows. 50 fitness reverse crunches. You won't do them again today, but I want you to get this done today. When you do get to those quads, again, narrow squats, whether you have one weight up or mixing it up as it's down, or two weights up or down, you can mix up those weights a little bit. Narrow squats, stationary forward lunges, same thing. You have one weight up or down, mix them up, two hands with weights up or down, mix up those quad focused fitness version today. Walking reverse lunges, most people don't do. A, you don't have the space, and B, you don't like them. Lower, heavier step-ups, that does require a tool to step up on. And you have those iso quads, sitting on something. Iso refers to your isometric abs core not moving with your concentric static quads. Single joint motion. 50 quads. Breathe, burn. Again, we get a little bit of heart rate. You get a little bit of a sweat. I'm not going to ask you to do the agility and the plyometrics that we've done several times the last 2 weeks. After we spent a couple weeks of not doing those things with temperature, middle of summer. After those 50 quads, you'll be on your 10 left balancing rows, and then your 50 reverse crunches. And we'll have we'll have a hip bridge, single leg hip bridge and an oblique round, blah, 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 blah. After those 50 left quads, I'm not saying you should be done, but you have your 10 left balancing rows. It's the last time you're gonna row today. You have the low trap back row. You have the high upper trap deltoid upright row. Later on, you have biceps and or shoulders differently. 10 left and then 50 reverse crunches. I do want you to maintain the focus on the reverse crunch. I don't want your hips destroyed, and I don't want your lower back hurting. 50 reverse crunches. Legs perfectly straight, meh, not required. Slight bend, but don't bend and straighten. I do see a lot of people, when they do fitness quads, they do this little knee bendy thing. Well, there's your quads. Keeping your legs either slightly bent or not bent. Don't bend and straighten. That helps out with your back. If you get too much hips, you can cross your legs. I want your abs. Fitness doesn't mean fast. It means get it done. Minimize your rest. When these 50 reverse crunches are done, you can stay on the ground. We have a loop of a right hip bridge and a right oblique and a left hip bridge and a left oblique. One loop now. We'll do another loop at the end of the workout. Sit-ups, your upper body moved onto your lower body. Reverse crunches, your lower body moves on your upper body. Your hips are the conduit for your legs moving because of your abs. Your abs don't attach to your legs. So your abs contract, it pulls on your hips, and on your hips you have these things that are called legs, right? So then your legs move because of your abs. Don't just move your legs. Don't let it be a hip quad exercise. Let it be a back exercise. When you get done with your 50, we're going to do a right single leg hip bridge. We're going to do a right oblique. Then we're going to do a left single leg hip bridge and then a left oblique. We have 100 reps now. We'll do 100 reps at the end, separated by a similar but different circuit. Okay? Not saying you should be there, but I do want to be a little bit ahead of you. Right leg hip bridge, 25 reps. Hips, hips, hips. You did your regular wide and narrow earlier, but now you're going to do your right for 25. We're going to slow things down a touch. And then, of course, you're going to stay on the ground. You'll have your right side up double lateral leg lifts or right side down hip dips, choosing one of those two. Then you'll do your left hip bridge and your left oblique. So 25 right hip bridges, 25 right obliques, 25 left hip bridges, 25 left obliques. It's 100 reps. And you know, for me, math says it's about 300 seconds. Even though these are a little bit smaller motions, let's just slow it down a touch. I'll even round it down. Let's say it was 200 seconds. You're still looking at about 3 minutes plus of work. So this is about a 3 to 5 minute circuit. I'm hoping it's more than 3. 25 right single leg hip bridges, and then 25 right obliques. I'm going to do double lateral leg lifts now. I'm going to do hip dips later, but you can choose one of those two. Right side up double lateral leg lifts or right side down hip dips. 25 reps. Again, hopefully you like the change of pace today. Smidge different on numbers and mindset. We'll repeat the right hip bridge, right oblique circuit at the end of the workout, so you'll know what to do. Just do it when you get there. Again, not saying you should be done. I always want to be a little bit ahead of you. 25 right hip bridges, 25 right obliques, 25 left hip bridges, and 25 left obliques. I hope you feel the difference between your right side and left side. I don't want it to be a big difference. You are going to be more mobile on one side. You're going to feel more balanced on one side. You might actually feel like, oh, what am I even doing on this side? It doesn't mean things aren't activating. You might feel like you have to work harder on one side. For me, when I do my left side, I have to work harder. I am less mobile. 25 left hip bridges, 25 left obliques. A nice little 100 rep circuit in the middle. Making sure everything is working properly, so when we get to the next circuit, we're going to get the right muscles we're trying to use. Remember those hip bridges. You can have your foot on something, so it's an elevated hip bridge. You can have weight on your hips, so a loaded hip bridge. 25 left hip bridge, 25 left obliques. Do what you did on the right. You'll have the same choice later, hip dips or double lateral leg lifts. I like it. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. This is workout 61. Numbered with the two other ones that we didn't number, so currently at 63 recorded workouts. If you need off-day homework, ask me, right? I send you those other workouts based on what I know you're doing this week. So yeah, you might find yourself repeating workout number 13, right? You've done it, but you did workout 13 in the middle of April. So it's been a while. That round should be over. Your next circuit, you're balancing pulling. You can do balancing biceps, right? Mix up your legs, balancing biceps. Or you can do balancing shoulder raises, front raise, lateral raise, rear raise. So you're pulling on either one of those. I hope this sounds familiar. right side balancing 30 different pulls. We're then going to do the hamstring version of our fitness, and I'll talk about that as we go. This is literally the mirror image for the lower body fitness. We're going to keep going with different abs. Ready? Let's go. 30. You can balance on your right leg or you can balance on your left leg. You can do shoulder raises. You can do bicep curls. Pulling exercises are going to feel limited today. We didn't do lat pullovers. You can do single arm, but I mean, not the best because it requires a load. We did our rows, upright and bent rows, and now you have your biceps and your raises. We can do chest flies, but again, that requires laying on something, so there's the component of getting up and down. So I limited your options a little bit. Balancing, right side 30 pulling. I'm not saying you should be done, but when you get there, stationary reverse lunges, you should have known that. Wide squats, higher step-ups. Yeah, you can do stiff-legged deadlifts, but make sure you maintain motion. We're gonna minimize rest, adjust your load. I'm not saying stiff-leggeds are bad, but people get hurt because we're doing the fitness, and Chris said I should be fit and I should have a little more heart rate, and you're gonna lose heart rate. It's not a bad thing. So stationary reverse lunges, you're gonna be able to have a touch more pace. Wide squats, you're gonna have a touch more pace. And remember, I didn't say fast. Stiff-leggeds are great, but because of the balance and the focus, you're gonna lose pace. Higher step-ups is hamstrings, lower, heavier is quads. So higher step-ups if you have that tool. Again, you can do walking forward lunges if you have space. Wide squat, stationary reverse lunge, higher step-ups, walking forward lunges. Fitness, 50. All I want you to do is get it done safely and effectively. Adjust the weight so you don't take breaks. Minimize your rest, maintain your motion, and of course have a little bit of fun. 50, fitness, hamstrings, not saying you should be done. When you get done, you have your left side 30, balancing, pulling with your shoulders or biceps. We'll then do our 50 runners. Runners are elbows to knees. Time, working hard. Remember, when you get to the balancing components, it'll naturally slow you down a little bit. You've got your fitness hamstrings. Again, you should probably still be doing them. I'm always a little bit ahead of you. 50 hamstrings fitness, and then get right on your 30 balancing left side pulls, and then you're on the ground for your 50 runners. Runners is elbows to knees. They don't take that long. Make sure we don't do bicycles. Bicycles are the quicker version of runners, and sometimes a smaller motion. Don't lose motion. $50 hamstrings, a little bit of fitness. You're gonna have your, Tom, you didn't do step one. Oh, did you? Good. Never mind. You did do step one. 50 hamstrings fitness, 30 balancing left side pulling. Please don't go any faster. I know you're probably looking at the time. Let's do things right. Nothing's going to imbalance you. You have your 50 runners. Runners don't take very long, but I want you to focus on maintaining motion, whether you come from the ground and you go up and over, or you come from the up and you work on lengthening. 50 runners. And of course, we're doing the fitness version, so when you get done, you have your 20 balancing right pulls. We'll have that little bit less round. Did you do step 4? Oh my goodness, Tom. You guys, there's at the gym, there's a stop sign as you walk into the gym. This is the funniest thing. And nobody does it. Now you know I have all my gray hair and I don't sleep at night. Step 4 is sign the COVID waiver. Welcome back, Tom. There's Tom Norling at Talking Rain. There's Tom Marcel at the gym. And Tom said, I need heavier weights. I need to be beat up at the gym. So he's here today. Round 2, 20 balancing right side pulling, shoulders or biceps. You're gonna have your 50 hamstring pulling, the fitness hamstrings. You're gonna have your 20 left side balancing pulling. You're gonna have your 50 V-ups and or toe touches. If you're short-ish on time, you probably wanna do toe touches. If you have a couple more minutes, you're gonna have your V-ups. You will have the one more round, thank you, sir. You will have the one more round to go. And then if you have that time at the end, you're gonna have that one more hip bridge oblique circuit exactly like you did in the middle. 20 right side balancing, pulling reps. 50 fitness hamstrings. Remember, we're not going fast. We just minimize rest, adjust your weights to hit your reps, and of course, have a great time working hard. Sunshine, you should come join Tom.
So clean here.
Thank you. Do you guys hear that? So clean here. There's one thing I promise you is space, a little cleanliness, horrible humor. I try not to cross the line as much when I have my recorder workouts. As much. 50 fitness hamstrings. You got your wide squats, stationary versus lunges. Of course, walking forward lunges if you have space. Higher step-ups. I didn't talk about those hamstring curls because that would mean you're laying down. You can do laying down on your hamstring curls, but again, that means you're getting down and getting up, and we might slow down, and we're trying to maintain some fitness. 50 hamstrings. When you get there, it's your 20 balancing left side pulls. Then you're gonna have your 50 V-ups and or toe touches. You only have the one more round. And whether you don't do it now and you do it later, the one more loop of the right hip bridge and obliques. 50 hamstrings. Fitness version. Maintain your motion. Minimize your rest. Adjust your weight. Hit your reps. Don't rest too long. I want you a little huffy puffy. I want a little bit of heart rate. That's why we're doing this. We're not doing agility or plyometrics like we've done lately. $20 left side and then 50 V-ups and or toe touches. If you're short-ish on time and you're trying to get that last round done, toe touches might be your best bet. I didn't say go faster, but they are a smaller motion. V-ups would be the harder exercise. I'm not saying the better exercise. So mix up V-ups and or toe touches. You do have a one more round of the 10, 50, 10, and then 50. Swimmers is the last round. So if you're pressed by time, mix and match as you need to. 50 V-ups and or toe touches. Toe touches is definitely going to give you more of the ab component. V-ups gives you the mobility of hips and spine, flexibility of posterior muscles, activation of anterior muscles. Again, would feel harder, but if you mix it up, do a couple V-ups and do a couple toe touches, you might find the combo to be pretty good. $50 V-ups and or toe touches. You have the one more round. I know we're getting out of time here. You have the balancing 10 right pulls, the 50 fitness hamstrings, the balancing 10 left side pulls, and then 50 swimmers. If you gotta go, you gotta go. If you have time, whether now or later, you do one more round of hip bridges and obliques. Same round as earlier. We'll have a mirror image of this as you can. Maybe if you guys shoot me a text or email me or a quick vote before you get off. Friday mornings be nuts. I'll be doing either class at home, but I'm curious if anyone have internet or not. 6 a.m. class tomorrow is possible, replacing Friday, but I don't want to muddy the waters too much. So when you get done with your 50 abs, 10 balancing, right, pulling, biceps or shoulders, your last 50 fitness hamstrings, I didn't say go faster. You have the 10 balancing left pulls and then 50 swimmers, whether you're laying on your stomach or you're on your hands and knees. If you gotta go, you gotta go. Posture, 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 hips, 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 posture, 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 glutes, 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 posture. Hammies are turning on more with wide squats, stationary forward lunges, walking forward lunges, higher step-ups. Yes, you can do stiff-leggeds, but please focus on not hurting yourself. Slow them down naturally. Not saying they're bad, they just kind of missed the boat on the fitness version today. Again, nice thorough workout with a 180 rep warm-up circuit with our hip bridges, our planks, our up body pushing. We had our balancing pulling, traps, shoulders, biceps. We had your fitness, 150 fitness quads, 150 fitness hamstrings, 300 fitness abs core between the two circuits. Again, more hip mobility, glutes and obliques in the middle. And if you have time, there's more at the end. I mean, that's a lot. Just a Wednesday morning. Ten balancing left pulls. You'll then have your 50 swimmers laying on your stomach, on your hands and knees. Good motion. If you gotta go, you gotta go. If you have time for the one more hip bridge oblique, that'd be 100 more reps. You can save it for lunchtime later if you want to. For those swimmers, mobility of hips and spine, activation of muscles around your hips and spine. Again, that's a core exercise. People come in, I want to do core. Okay, well, it's any muscle that touches your body. You've got weight displacement, like Russian twists and windshield wipers and all the functional movements we can do on the cables. Sit-ups is not core. Reverse crunches are not core. Small component by all means. Swimmers would be more core. Weight displacement, mobility of hips and spine. Again, if you have to leave after this, I 100% understand. Time is of the essence. If you have time for one more loop of the hip bridge, single leg hip bridge and obliques, please do. Or you can save it for later today.